Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. I'm Ada. If this is the first time you're seeing my face, I'm Ada. I do videos on sewing tutorials, sewing tips, sewing tricks, and fashion business tips. In today's video, I'm going to show you the easiest way, the fastest way, and the simplest way to make your very own bralette with things you can find at home. Guys, I made these bralettes with scrap fabric I have at home, and I've made 3. In less than 48 hours, I've made 3. That's to tell you how simple it is to cut and to sew, and you're just going to love it. There's something about African prints and bralettes. So I made this one. I couldn't find some of the things I wanted to make the bralette with, so I just made do with the things I had at home. And I know this is like a major challenge for a lot of people, so you don't have to look for all the things they used to make bras just to make a bralette. No, you can actually work with things you have at home. So I made this one. Okay, this one has a hook. I'm just going to show you in this video how to make this one. And I also made this one. This one has like an elastic band. So I'm just going to show you 2 ways. In this video, I'm going to show you 2 ways to make your bralette. Oh, the hook is off. In this video, I'm just going to show you 2 ways to make a bralette with whatever you have at home. Are you excited? I know you are. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Let's go into the video. Let us go. So I'm starting with my pattern paper, my scissors, my French curve, my tape, my ruler, my pencil, and my biro. I used pencil and biro like alternatively. So I extended my tape by 7 inches and I marked my under bust point. That's my shoulder to under bust point. Now my shoulder to under bust point is 13.5 inches. I stepped it down by half an inch and that gave me 14 inches. Okay, you know, normally when you want to cut your normal bustier, you extend your tape by 5 inches, but for the bralette you extend it by 7 inches. Okay, so after I was done marking my shoulder to under bust point, I connected my markings with a straight line. Okay, and from the center I marked my bust point, my bust width. Now my bust is 34 inches. 34 inches divided by 4, that is 8.5 inches. So I'm marking 8.5 inches at that point. I did not add any allowance. So after marking the width of my bust like so, I joined my markings with a straight line, of course. So that's my under bust point and that is my bust width. Then I extended my tape by 7 inches again and I marked my shoulder to nipple point. Okay, now my shoulder to nipple point is 9.5 inches, and just like we did for the under bust point, I stepped it down by half an inch. So 9.5 inches plus half an inch, that is 10 inches. So I marked 10 inches for my shoulder to nipple point. And the reason for this addition of half inch is because by the time you cut and sew, it will jump back to the original measurement. You understand? So after marking my shoulder to nipple point, I connected my markings with a straight line like I said. Now from the center I marked my nipple to nipple point at 4 inches. You guys know, like, this normal measurements we take and we mark when we are marking our basic bustier. So that is what I'm just trying to put up here or insert into this bralette. So I marked 4 inches along the length of across the length of the pattern paper, and I connected my markings with a straight line. Now from the bottom I marked half an inch on both sides. Okay, so half an inch on both sides, and for the top I'm just going to take, it's not up to half an inch, just like 2 marks. Okay, 2 marks, and I'm going to do that on both sides. It's not up to half an inch. You guys can see the width I took there. I don't know whether to call it 3/4 of half an inch, but you can see what I showed you on the tape there. That's what I took. So when I was done putting down all the measurements, inserting all the measurements, I just used my French curve and I connected my markings, because this bralette, it's not, you need that you know, that cup side to really curve out well. So that is why you have to do this with your French curve. If you know you can curve it very well with your straight ruler, fine. If you can't do that, you can, you know, use your French curve, and French curve is very cheap. I think I got this for like 300 naira in Nigeria. Okay, so I used my French curve to connect my markings together, as you can see. So when I was done connecting those markings together, this is what we have here. Now from the center, I marked 1/2 inch. At the top, from that point where the curve stopped, I marked 1/2 inch backwards. For the other side, I marked 1/2 inch like so. Okay, then I connected my markings together. You guys can see what I'm doing here. I connected my markings together. Then I went to the end and connected it to that 1/2 inch point at the top. Okay, so this is what we have here. You can see the bralette is already coming together. So from the side, I went up by 1 inch, and from this side I went up by 1/2 inch. You guys know, like, the bust point is not exactly straight, so we are trying to insert the curve, the breast curve here. So after going up by 1 inch and 1/2 inch on both sides, I connected the curve like so with my French curve. You guys really need a French curve here. If you can freehand it, good and fine. So I connected my markings like so. This is what we have here. Now from the side, I'm going to add 1/2 inch allowance. Now this 1/2 inch allowance will cover up for sewing. And also I noticed that when I just, you know, sewed with the first one I made, I had a little like side boobs, but when I added like this 1/2 inch, it kind of covered it up a little. So if you're on the busty side, maybe you add like 3/4 inch, but me, I added like 1/2 inch. Okay, so this is what we have here. So after marking, I used my French curve and connected the markings together. This is what we have here. You can see how simple it is to draft. So after putting in your measurements and putting in your curves, you want to tag the pieces so that you know which one comes first and which one comes second, which is what I just did here. After I was done with the whole marking and everything, I just went ahead to cut, and I'm taking my time to show you guys how I'm cutting, because some people just come to the comment section and crucify me. They're like, oh, you did not show us how to cut. I am showing you how to cut it now. Okay, I've shown you how to curve it, I'm showing you how to cut it. Okay, so I just went ahead to cut out the parts I didn't need. So we'll have a working piece. So after cutting and cutting and cutting, this is what we have here, guys. This is the first piece, this is the second piece. And if you follow me on Instagram at Stitchadress, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you will know that I said I use scrap fabric to make this bralette, and this is a PC. This is one of my scrap fabrics. So I just used I folded the fabric into two, I placed the pattern on it, and I'm just cutting out the piece I want. So if you are looking for a way to utilize your scrap fabrics, ladies and gentlemen, this is one way to utilize the scrap fabric. Okay, so for this piece you are going to cut 2 pairs. So it's on a fold and I have 2 already, so you are going to cut 2 pairs, because one will act as the main piece and another will act as the lining. So I've gone ahead to cut 2 pairs for the first piece of the bralette. Okay, I'm marking the point that I'm going to join to the second part so that I'll know where I'm joining. Then I just went ahead again to fold my fabric into 2, and I'm cutting the second piece of the bralette. So I cut 2 pairs for the first piece first. You guys know I tagged the pattern piece 1 and piece 2. So I cut 2 pairs for piece 1, and I'm also going to go ahead to cut 2 pairs for piece 2. So this is the 2 pairs for piece 2. So you're just going to align piece 1 and piece 2 together just the way it was looking on the pattern. Now we are going to cut the strap for the bralette. That's the base strap, the strap that's going to go under your bust, and the width for this is 2.5 inches. And you can see I cut it into 2. You mustn't cut it into 2, you can just cut like a straight fabric, but because this is like scrap fabric, I had to cut into 2 parts so that I will get like a working, like one long strip that can still cut out my measurement from there. So you're just going to join it. I just joined it in the center. So now I'm aligning piece 1 and piece 2 together, the 2 pieces together. I'm just going to join them at that point. So I'm going to do this for the 4 pieces of the bralette. So I took it over to my sewing machine and I joined them together. So when you are sewing, you know you are going to sew 4 pieces of bralette, because 2 pieces will be like the main piece and the remaining 2 will be the lining. Okay, so after sewing, I took it to my ironing table and I gave it a really good press. That's your seam, you want to open it up, give it a really good press so that it will be well relaxed. Okay, now for the strap, I've gone ahead to join it and I attached like a forcible interface. Your gum stay, your paper stay, your hard stay, you can attach it to the fabric. Now one thing you want to do is you want to fold the fabric into 2. Remember I said that the width of this strap that is going to go under the bust is 2.5 inches. Okay, so after attaching your forcible interface, you're going to fold it into 2, and I'm using my iron so that I'll be precise. Now after sewing the pieces of the bralette, you're going to align them on each other like so, and you are going to sew along that axis. Okay, but before we do that, we are going to attach our strap. Now my strap is 13 inches and the width of the strap is 1.5 inch. Why my strap is 13 inches? You're just going to first of all fold it, then attach it to the bralette. Okay, you're going to fold. I'm taking it over to my sewing machine now. I took it over to my sewing machine. I don't know what kind of English I'm speaking. I took it over to my sewing machine and I just folded it like so, and I sewed, you know, I joined them together. Now I was trying to explain something before. For my strap, I know you're going to be wondering that, oh Ada, how did you know the length of the strap they are supposed to use? I just put a tape from above my bust point where I know my bralette is going to stop, and I measured down to like my bra level point where I know that my bralettes always stop, and that's how I got the 13 inches that I'm working with. If you're not very sure, just take your measuring tape and measure the current length of your bra strap. So if you have like an elastic bra strap, just try and stretch it out and measure the length. That way you know the length of Ankara fabric to cut. Okay, so after folding the strap, you're just going to put it in the bralette like so. Make sure it's in the center. You're going to secure it down with a pin. You're going to secure it down with a pin and you're going to join it like so. So you're going to do that for both parts of the pieces. So I took it over to my sewing machine and I joined it. When I got to that point where the bralette strap is, I kind of did a back stitch so that it will be firm and it won't pull out. Okay, do a back stitch, then you sew down to the other side. So after sewing, I brought it back to this table and I turned it over. I did this for both parts and I gave it a really good press. You want to really iron at this point. You want to iron so that everything will be in place, everything will look well put together. You don't want to be sewing and not ironing. Okay, so make sure you give it a good press. Now after giving it a good press, I came back with my strap that is going to go under. I don't know what to call this strap, whether it's under bust strap But so you're going to attach the bralette piece, the cup, to the strap, okay, and you're going to join. So I just attached the two pieces of the bralette to the strap, and I secured with some office pins. So you want to make sure that the hem of the bralette is well aligned to the strap, the underbust strap, or the underbust band. I think I prefer calling it underbust band. And you're just going to join it. You're going to do a back stitch in the center. So me, I did not join from end to end. I joined from like the center to the end. I turned it over. For the second piece, I joined from the center to the end. So around the center, you want to do a back stitch, okay? You want to do a back stitch so that it will be, because you know, if you don't do a back stitch there, because of the weight of the boobs, it might start tearing. So after sewing and ironing, this is what we have here. So even when I was ironing, that sewing allowance that I used to join the bralette to the band, I extended it, like I ironed it down, because we'll need that to join the band, to turn over the band. So to turn over the band, you're just going to fold like so and top stitch. It's that simple. You fold it like so and you top stitch. So you guys see the reason why I ironed that sewing allowance that we used to attach the bralette to the band. Now, to know the point where you're going to attach your strap, from that point you're going to mark 4 inches, and you're going to, at that 4-inch point, you're going to attach the band. You're going to secure with a pin. You secure with a pin because we are going to top stitch over the band, okay? Then from this side too, you are going to mark 4 inches backwards, and you are going to attach the strap, and you secure with a pin. So when you get to the strap point, like we did for the bralette point, we are going to back stitch. So to sew the band, we are going to turn it over like so, and we are going to top stitch, okay? So it's not like a one-time process. So as you are sewing, you fold the other part, make sure it's well aligned with the front part of the band, then you top stitch. So this one, you have to actually take your time. If not, your stitches will come out scattered, they won't come out straight, and they'll be clumsy. So that's what I did till I got to the end of the band. So this is what we have here. You guys can see how neat the stitches are, and trust me, I took my time. On camera now it's looking like it was so fast. My dear, it wasn't fast. I actually took my time. So now, to know where to attach the hook, this is the hook I'm going to be using. I checked the whole market here. I couldn't find the bralette hooks or the bra adjusters. So guys, I just worked with what I have at home. So the width of my underbust is 29 inches. So from this point I marked 14.5 inches, because you know the underbust measurement now is divided into 2, and from this point I marked 14.5 inches. So 14.5 inches plus 14.5 inches, that will give me 29 inches, you understand, which is like the width of my underbust. So I'm just going to attach the hooks on those points, okay? So now for this point, you can see I've already gone to, I did a zigzag stitch to lock the raw end of the band, and I'm just going to attach the hook like so. I'm going to sew it down. So this is what we have here. I'm done attaching this hook. Then the next thing we are going to do is to attach the second piece of the hook, and you're just going to fold the band like so. Then that point where the 29-inch mark is, that is where you sew the hook to, okay? So I'm done sewing it. I'm just going to attach it like so. Now guys, this is the first way bralette. This is the first way to sew a bralette. It is this simple, it is this easy, it is not that difficult. I'm just going to show you the second way to sew a bralette, okay? I'm going to show you the second way to sew a bralette. You can see how simple it is with just the hook. Now for the second part, I've already joined my pieces together. This time we are not working with an Ankara fabric. We're actually working with this is called, some people call it ready-made band, ready-made elastic. Some people call it some people call it I don't know, is it American elastic? Just know, when I went to the market, I told them I wanted a bra elastic, or bra, yeah, I told them I wanted bra elastic, and they gave me this one. So I just went ahead to cut out 13 inches for both pieces, and I'm going to attach it to the bra cups like so. I'm going to secure a pin. I'm just going to join it at that point. I'm going to attach the second one, and I'm going to join it like so. So after joining it on my sewing machine, this is what we have here. Now for some fabrics, when you sew your bralette, they tend to move around. So for this method, we're actually going to top stitch on the bra cups. Okay, remember I told you guys I'm going to show you 2 ways to make a bralette. We're actually going to top stitch on the bra cups. So I took the bra cups back to my sewing machine, and I just ran a top stitch all over. Okay, so I did same thing for the second piece. If you're watching up to this point, or if you've watched up to this point and you're enjoying this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you have not subscribed. It means a lot to me. I want to hit 50k this year, and I want you to be part of my family. Okay, so hit the subscribe button. Now after top stitching, this is what we have here. You can see how well relaxed the cup looks like. Now to attach the band, just like we did for the first piece, we're just going to attach it to the center of the band. Now because I'm attaching an elastic to this band, I did not cut 29 inches for the band. I cut 25 inches. So the elastic will make up for the remaining 4 or 5 inches that has been minused from this band. So I went ahead to cut 4 inches of elastic. Now when I was trying to get into the bralette, it gave me a little difficulty, so I went ahead to change the elastic to like 5 inches. Okay, so after attaching the cups to the band, the next thing I'm going to do now, just like we did for the front part, I gave it a good press, and even that sewing allowance that I used to join the cups to the band, I ironed it down. Now to attach the elastic, I just attached it to one side of the band, secured it down with a pin, so this is what it looks like. Then I pulled it, or I just folded it, and I attached it to the second side of the band. So this is what we have here. So I'm just going to fold it like so, and I'm going to sew it. So I took it back to my sewing machine and folded it just the way I've shown you, and I ran stitches across, and I pulled out the elastic. You can see how it looks here, and I did same thing for the second side. Okay, I was trying to explain the dynamics of the width of my band. So one thing you want to do, if you want to attach elastic to your bralette, you're just going to cut out, let's say for example now the width of my band is 29 inches. I went ahead to minus 4 inches out, and I replaced the 4 inches with the elastic. Okay, so that's why I cut 25 inches. So this is what we have here. Now to attach the strap, I just went ahead to mark 4 inches from that point, and I you want to make sure that the strap is in the right direction. If not, you have to loosen it when you are done top stitching, and trust me, that is painful. It happened to me. So I'm trying to tell you now, when you are attaching your strap, just make sure it's in the right direction. Okay, and I marked 4 inches again, and I attached the strap to the band. And after attaching the strap to the band, I'm just going to turn over the remaining part of the band, just like we did for the first bralette. I'm just going to turn it over like so, and I'm going to top stitch. It's that simple, guys. You're going to turn it over like so, and you're going to top stitch, just like I did for the first part, for the first bralette. If I've been stuttering throughout this video, guys, just know I'm not feeling so well, and I'm pushing myself to do this voiceover. So I just kept top stitching and top stitching till I got to the end. Then I gave it a really good press. Remember, for this method, you have to minus 4 inches from the original length of your your underbust. So let's say your underbust is 29, you are going to minus 4 inches. That will give you 25. Then you replace the 4 inches with the elastic. Okay, I just want to state this point again so that you guys would understand. So I just kept top stitching till I got to the end of the band, and I gave it a back stitch. So guys, this is what the second bralette looks like. So like I told you in the beginning, I showed you 2 methods, so you'll be able to make your bralette with whatever you have at home, whether you have an elastic or whether you have a hook. And I know you'll be like, oh, you can't get this bralette hook. This is the first one I made, and I made this one with just like my Ankara strap and the normal elastic we have every day at home. So you have no excuse not to make your bralette. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Do come back for more videos, and I'll see you in my next. Bye.